Hey everyone, it's Pastor Mike. As every year when we get back from our missions trip or camp, we like to show pictures from our trip and show you the things that we did. Most of all, we want to show the young people and how they worked and the service that they did. I know a lot of times here it's hard when you're young, but we want our kids to know that as they get older, there's a place for them to serve in their local church no matter what they're doing. We served with the Bryants in Kentucky to start with in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Brother Bryant had a great job working security at Target, and the Lord called him into the ministry, and he went to that ministry. But as he was working at Target, he was faithful in his local church. Then we visited with the Fletchers, Jerry and Gloria, just laymen in the church. Miss Gloria cleaned houses before she retired, and Brother Jerry's been working at print shops for over 40 years now. And they're just right there chugging along in their local church. And that's what we want our young people to see. We don't have to be behind a pulpit. We don't have to be behind a lectern and a classroom. We just need to be where we are, where God's planted us, serving the Lord. We had a wonderful time. The kids were very well behaved, and they really enjoyed the Bryants and the Fletchers. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day we saw someone go back and help Brother Jerald and Sister Beverly in their ministry there, Antioch Christian Life Ministries there in Campbellsville, Kentucky. So enjoy the slideshow, and thank you all again for your prayers, and thank you for those that were able to financially help the kids with work and with gifts through our church. We love you all.
Hey, this is Elizabeth. I would like to start out by saying thank you to Pastor Mike and Miss Joyce for sacrificing their time this summer and taking us to Kentucky to serve alongside the Bryants. Thanks also to Pastor and Mrs. Baker for allowing us to go, and thank you, church family, for your prayers and the money you helped support us with for allowing me to go and others. This trip was very eye-opening, and I think we all learned a lot from the Bryants. They sacrificed their time by coming out and helping us with work, whether it was by painting a room or showing us how to work outside and entertaining us every night. We learned how there are many different ways God provides, and He knows exactly what we need at the right times, both little and big things. Thank you for your prayers and your support.
Hey, this is Noah. I would like to thank everyone who had a part in helping me earn money to go on this trip. I had a great time working with and getting to know the Bryants. Every morning, Mr. Bryant gave us a small devotion, and one in particular really stood out to me. It was a simple devotion about how the Lord provides even the small things. I was working on screwing a deck down, and we knew we were running out of screws and would probably have to go buy more. I had just 2 more boards to screw down, and Pastor Mike found the right amount of screws in an old tool bag that Mr. Bryant had somewhere in the church. I saw just from that how the Lord will provide in any time of need. Thank you all for your support and prayers.
Hey, it's Maddie. I am so thankful to my parents for allowing me to go on this trip. I could talk in detail about all the fun stuff we did, but I'm sure most of you saw pictures on Pastor Mike's Facebook. As exhausting as it was, working for the Bryants was such a blast. I learned that working hard to be a blessing to others was a blessing to me as well. We really bonded with them, and I enjoyed spending time with their daughter, Chastity. After a long day of work at the church, we would head over to the Bryant's house to swim, eat, and play games. Going to the Ark and Creation Museum was also a privilege I'm thankful for. I was able to learn so much about my Creator in the book of Genesis. I'm also very thankful for the Fletchers for letting us all stay in their home. It was the times when we were off Wi-Fi that I had the most fun and laughed the hardest. Thank you all for your prayers and your support.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for their prayers and for the work they provided for us to earn money for this trip. While in Kentucky, we got to see the Bryants ministry. They are some of the hardest working people I've seen. Most times, it's just them working in their church, and I've never heard them complain one time about it. I'm so grateful we could be of service to them. The Ark and Creation Museum were spectacular, and it made me realize what an awesome and all-knowing God we serve. It was also great to visit the Fletchers and go to Grace Baptist in Dayton and see our pastor's old ministry. Thank you all for everything. We love you guys.
trip was really fun, cool, exciting, educational, and much more. It was really cool to see the Bryants in Kentucky, and we got to meet the whole family and work alongside them. Mr. Jerald did a devotion each morning about the themes of their church: contentment, God is sufficient, etc. We got to paint, help clean inside and outside the church, and we also got to see Mr. Bryant and his ministry, Hope and Hoops. We all enjoyed spending time with the Bryants, and I think we were all pretty sad to leave them. But it was exciting to see the Ark and the Creation Museum and meet the Fletchers. They have a really cool house, by the way. It was nice to visit the missionaries and see their ministries at work. This trip was great, and I'm excited to see the Bryants and the Fletchers again.
First of all, I'd like to thank my mom and everyone who gave me work so I could go to the missions trip this year. I'd always like to thank Pastor Mike and Miss Joyce for using their time to take us. This missions trip, we went to Kentucky to help Pastor Jerald Bryant fix up his property. We worked from repairing a deck to burning up tree branches. Although it was a lot of work, it was a good testimony and a very good experience. When we went to the Ark and the Creation Museum, it was like jumping straight into the Bible. I am so glad I had the opportunity to go, and I will never forget this experience.
With all the hard work, good laughs, and new inside jokes, this has definitely been the best mission trip for me. I'm so glad we could be a blessing to the Bryants. Although the Fletcher's house was a bit creepy at times, I enjoyed bonding with my youth group. I want to thank my parents for going through all the trouble to get me on this trip, and Pastor Mike, Mrs. Joyce, and the youth group for making my last mission trip a great time. I love you guys.
First off, I would like to thank my parents and those who gave me jobs this summer so I could go on our missions trip. This week has been fun. Not only did we get to travel, but we also got to work for the Bryants and help repair their church. We helped them replace their deck and made a new flower bed for them. We started the morning off with a devotion, then worked, then went to their house for the rest of the day. We went to the Ark and Creation Museum. It felt like we were in the Bible. I've learned from this trip that God will bless those who are content and faithfully do what He commands.
Greetings, my name is Trey Lober. I had so much fun on this past missions trip. I want to thank my parents for allowing me to go and for paying for it. Being around the Bryants was quite interesting and there was never a dull moment, and I thank the Fletchers for their hospitality during those 2 days. During the trip, I learned so much about having a servant's heart and being content. Mr. Bryant not only told us about having a servant's heart, but showed it too. I can't wait to go to the next missions trip.
Hey guys, this is Nathan. Thank you guys for letting us work and donate money for us to go on this missions trip. We had lots of fun, and the Bryants were very fun and godly people. I learned a lot, and I mean, you can really see God working through their ministry, especially his Hoops and Hope's ministry. It's just all the guys there have such a deep respect for him, and he said he hasn't seen much fruit, but you can tell that he will. And I really hope I get to go back there someday and help him and see how much they've grown. And we had a lot of fun at the Ark and Creation Museum. You could just really see God's creation come into life. And thank you for help. Thank you guys for sending us again.
3, 2, 1, go!
be right now for a second. Mr. Kevin can go ahead and put your helmet on right, sir. And come closer so I can see you.
Come on, Miss Pug.
Trey, come closer, man, because I can't really see you. All right. I just got it filming for a second. All right, Kevin King.
First of all, I want to thank everyone who hired me so I could work to get the money to go to Kentucky. I really enjoyed working at the church. I got to chop wood, help with the deck, and pull and chop roots out of the ground. Everything was really fun. What really touched me was every morning Mr. Bryant would give us a short 5 to 10 minute devotion before we started out that day. One morning he talked about being content. I thought about that for a while, and I saw the reference Philippians 4:11 on the wall of the church. And that really touched my heart. Lastly, I want to thank the Fletchers for letting us stay at their house for a couple of days. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Avril. In these past few weeks at the Antioch Christian Church and our time at the Fletchers was great. The Bryants were so welcoming to us when we got there. They opened up their home to us every night. When we worked on the church, they cleared up everything and made the work we did fun as well. I would love to go back and see them again. Also, the Ark and the Creation Museum were great experiences. I'm so grateful for the people who gave work so we could go. And lastly, our 2 days at the Fletchers were so much fun. The food was great. We played so many games, and they were so kind to us. I'm so thankful for the opportunity I had to go on a missions trip.
Howdy, my name is Jake Dudley, and I want to thank the church for sending us on the missions trip to Kentucky, and also my parents for helping me raise all the money to go. The Bryants were a huge blessing, showing us how God will provide and to have fun while working. We worked on taking a tree out and putting in a new deck and taking out roots in the ground. The Bryants had us at their house every night, and we drove four-wheelers and swam and played Mafia. They had such an impact on my life. We went to the Ark, the Creation Museum, the Museum for the Air Force, and Young's Dairy. They were all such a blast. The Fletchers were such a blast with card games and scares and creepy doors and tunnels. Thank you for everyone that helped me get money to go to this trip.